Jeez. I thought an airplane was landing here. Anyhow, I got the starter from Where's Little Feller. QC passed, ISO 9001-2000 certified. Made in China, $90 including shipping, 6.5 turbo diesel starter. And I found the problem with his starter that he mailed me. I was going to mail back a crappy core to the parts geek. I found the problem. The bolt here, the pivot for the shift fork, which is what the solenoid pulls this way, magnetized, and it shifts out the starter drive that way. The bolt's missing. Yep, so the bolt that I had here that I found wouldn't fit, so I put it in the drill press, and got a piece of steel underneath there to shim it into place, and we'll crank up the drill press, and we're going to drill a hole and enlarge it just a little bit. We're going to go right through the shift fork, which will probably line up, and yep, there we go. Whee! There's hardly anything precise here. All it is a pivot point. Oh yeah. Well, if I had two hands. Head cam. Where's my head cam? Oops. I'll just wiggle this shift fork a little bit. Come on, there we go. Look at that. All done. Fixed. Because I thought maybe his drive was bad. The drive has a one-way clutch, so it's got tension. If you turn it this way, you can feel the rollers rubbing like a barb of a cat's tongue. A lot of friction turning the drive this way, and the other way it won't turn. The whole starter turns, and sometimes the clutches, the rollers inside the drive, wear out. So I showed you that previously. Now, where's Little Feller? Took all the nuts that hold everything together. So I have to go find some parts, and there's the support ear that goes to the block right there, a little bracket that long. And snow blowers, didn't need those. You never know, huh? Where's my brackets? Let's see, there's the one that I sent him. I'm glad I was able to help him. And here's the ones. One came on the starter that a friend of mine gave me, a junk starter that was lying on the ground outside. There's the ones that I made. Told you it was simple. So, how does that work? Like that. And that bolts to the block right there, and that bolts to the starter. There's the original one, and I made mine at a slightly heavier gauge because that's what I had. Yeah, bolts on just like that. You bolt that to the block and it triangulates stuff. And the problem here is when GM, Allison, or Detroit Diesel rather, designed this motor, they didn't use bigger bolts than they used on the gas motors. Gas motors use the same, is it a 1/2-inch bolt or maybe it's a metric? I think it's a 1/2-inch. Those go right there. Got to keep some stuff organized. Everything else is a disaster. So they should have upgraded those bolt sizes, one bigger to 9/16 or 5/8. They didn't. So when you crank the engine over, the starter goes works on those bolts. If you put the support there, seems to solve the problem, even though it's barely adequate. It works. So I'll just put a nylock on this. I've got my nylocks. Got some nuts here. And my nylocks might be over there on the shelves that my buddy about my POS plow truck bought. Washers, washers. Headlight adjusting nuts and screws. Need those if you have an old Suburban. Suburban. Well, somewhere I have some nylocks. That way that bolt won't come out again. Simple as that, huh? Everything should be so easy. Alright, I got all my junk for the Subaru in the back of the Suburban. I gotta get a box at my dumpster and box all this stuff and bring it off to Pisser. Get that Subaru running. He's painting my green Suburban today. I ordered some stickers for it. Wait till you see them. I customized them. Thanks for looking, guys. I gotta get to work. Always something to do around here. Kill some ants. Yep, got ant problems. Alright, YouTube. Why are we so crazy about YouTube? I got 2 nuts on that to lock it in place. Doesn't matter if the bolt's a little long. And I've got the old starter rusted. I got the return address to where's little feller scotch taped on to the solenoid. So when they get that back at Parts Junk, they'll know where it came from in case they screw up. You always put your address, return address, sender information inside the box in case the box gets mangled in transit or gets wet or whatever. The plane goes down and they find it thousands of miles away in Australia or Iceland or Greenland or Moscow land. Pack that up real good. I'm not going to use a double box that they use to send this thing in because the shipping was $27. That's friggin' nuts. Imagine how much shipping's involved to ship that all over the place till it finally gets here. Put that in the box like that, tape it up, put the address on to Parts Geek, put the return address from Where's Little Feller, and I'm going to fix the door on my Hyundai because the handle's not working properly. Keys, I'll show you what's happening here. I'm going to open this up and see what the problem is. I don't know what's wrong. It barely opens. Maybe the bushing broke, but I'll fix it up. Battery terminals, solid brass.